Bhutan really is a country of two halves, Western Bhutan, Eastern Bhutan. Western Bhutan is where most people go, and it's the east that is rarely visited. A few years ago we had a program on the BBC holiday program with Angela Rippon, and she did our Gentle Walking Hotels and Lodges trek in Western Bhutan, and that's been probably the most popular trip that we've had of all time. Almost bar none. I mean, even more popular than Everest Base Camp and gentle trekking in the Annapurna Foothills. It has been a really popular thing. So the idea of doing a gentle walking trip in Eastern Bhutan had great appeal. The break comes at a big pass called the Thrumseng La, just after the region of Bumthang, and the Bhutanese have long wanted to promote the East, but they have the difficulty of the distance from entering Bhutan in Para, driving all the way through the mountains. People then don't want to drive all the way back from the east, all the way back to Para. So they built a little airstrip at the town of Jakar in Bumthang. So you can just fly to Jakar, and that really helps getting to the east. And the second thing that happened was that some bright spark in the tourism ministry came up with the idea that to promote the East, that they would drop the tourist tax for every night that was spent in the eastern districts, and that makes going to the East a good deal more attractive. So I went out this last November, and we've put together a program that has lots of very nice day walks visiting all the main parts of Eastern Bhutan. The difference between the East and the West is that the eastern districts are a little bit lower, although there are still big Himalayan peaks on the northern border. The towns tend to be sited on hilltops rather than in the bottoms of valleys, which is a bit different to the West. You still have quite a number of the big, large monastery fortresses or dzongs in the same architectural style. But there are different tribes that live in the east. So there are the Brokpa, who come from Merak and Sakteng, who are very different to the other Bhutanese people. They live a different style of life, they wear different clothes, they have a different language, they wear these strange hats on their heads that look like spiders made from yak hair. So culturally it's quite different to the West. Historically, the East didn't get assimilated into the rest of Bhutan until a little bit later than the West. You get much more of a feel of old Bhutan. It's much less visited. People are more shy. The places are much more remote. So places like Trashiyangtse and Lhuentse, Tashigang, Merak and Sakteng, they feel much more remote. The cultural highlights of this tour, I think, are seeing the different types of tribes and visiting some of the places like Bumdeling National Park, where the black-necked cranes come in the winter. And there are oddities like a big stupa in the east called Kora, where there are lots of legends that surround this place, and lots of magic. Lots of strange legends about flying monks and all sorts of wonderful things. There are some beautiful architectural oddities, like the big traditional bridge near Tashiangtse, where it's covered in streamers of prayer flags and so on. It's a really lovely old ancient traditional cantilevered covered wooden bridge. The royal family, of course, first came from Lhuentse, The father of the first king of Bhutan started his career as the governor of Lhentse, and the Dzong there sits high up on a big mountain top, and it's really spectacular. I've seen a lot of changes in the east since 1990. Firstly, the road is greatly improved. Secondly, when I first went to the east, the hotels and lodges were very basic, but they are much improved now. I mean, there are some very, very nice little hotels and lodges, but the towns and the villages are little changed. This Gentle Walking Eastern Bhutan is really aimed at people who enjoy walking, but probably 2 or 3 hours a day, 3 or 4 hours a day, 4 or 5 maximum, but who want to explore the east and see these remote places, but have lots of nice walking, and tied in with a festival in the Bumthang area. The district of Bumthang is regarded as the holiest area of the kingdom, and there are more festivals in Bumthang and Jakhar being the main township, than in all the other parts of Bhutan. Come the autumn, particularly October, November, there are a lot of festivals going on in Bumthang, and they are very often village festivals rather than main set-piece festivals. So that normally our Gentle Walking Eastern Bhutan trip is tied into one of those festivals.